Peace, y'all. What's up? I recorded this video before, but my camera cut off, so I have to redo it. But it's all good. So I want to talk about the 7 Hermetic Principles today. The Hermeticism, I'm not really subscribed to that ideology or belief or whatever, but it does have value and does have some truth into it. So I guess number one is a principle of mentalism, that all is mind, all is spirit. There is only one universal mind. That's why some people can read minds and telepathically read minds, because your thoughts are not yours. You receive thoughts. And the quality of your thoughts depends on your state of vibration, and the quality of your thinking depends on your state of vibration. So a lot of people might talk bad about themselves. Those people might be at a lower vibration, and that's all okay. We're all at different stages. We're all learning, and we're all growing. So principle number 1 is a principle of mentalism. That all is mind, all is spirit. Even the physical body is a manifestation of spirit, and soul. Principle number 2 is a principle of correspondence, as above, so below. Even the planets in general, like I talk about astrology and stuff, as above, so below. Those planets moving in the transits, moving in the sky. It's not absurd to think that even though those planets have something to do with us, this is what we could physically see. We look up into the sky at night and we see the stars. So of course it has some sort of influence on us, because everything emanates from the same source. Everything emanates from the same place. You know what I mean? Everything, is the same. We have an influence on that too, in a small degree. As above, so below. Very important principle. Very important on your spiritual journey. As above, so below. Principle of correspondence. As above, so below. As below, as above. It's important to realize that everything is connected in some way. And everything influences each other in some other way too. Number 3 is the principle of vibration. Everything is in motion, doesn't rest. I was saying before that your vibration can be described as your level of awareness, your level of different states of consciousness, which I don't really want to like to use that word anymore. The vibration. People talk about raising your vibration. There's all this talk about the 3D and 5D, ascending to the 5th dimension. Now what those people are talking about is they're talking about mentally. The 3D constructs are constructs of good and bad. Just 3D things. Like the things that are rooted in our reality. Good and bad. You know what I mean? Just things that are rooted in our reality that are the wrong way to look at things. People always think that the world is against them, but really it's not. Like, that's what I mean. Like, people always think that the world's against them, but really the world is just trying to show you something, or you yourself aren't recognizing these things, and they keep putting you in these patterns. You kept being put into these patterns until you recognize it, and it's going to keep getting worse and worse and worse and worse. So the principle of vibration is a very important principle to know and to read up on. Real quick, the book which has these principles is the Kabbalah. Now, the Hermetic philosophy, what they say is like the beginning of all theology, which is it's basically like the first religion, basically. This is where all of religion emanates from, and what that tells you right there is that this is a religion itself. this is something you follow and you believe itself. So, don't get too caught up into the Hermeticism philosophy in general. You know, find its principles, find its meaning, and use it for yourself. Don't get lost into other people's beliefs or ideas or anything like that. And this is where this actually all comes from, was the Ebel Tablets of Thoth, the Tetralochidi. That's where it actually comes from. So, read up on that. What was that? Number 3. Number 4, the principle of polarity. Basically talking about good and bad, good and bad, hot and cold. The principle of polarity is just saying that even though these two things to us appear separate, they are one and the same. Hot and cold. When does water stop being hot and when does water start being cold? We don't know when that happens. There's no clear temperature or anything that says something hot or is cold. You know what I mean? So, everything is just one end of the same spectrum. So there is no such thing as good or bad or right or wrong. It's all on your perception and your experiences and the titles and what you put to that. If you know what I'm trying to say. One experience or one thing might be good to someone, it might be bad, like food. In general, just food. Like some people might like certain types of food, other people might like other types of food. But none of those food are really good or bad. It's just all on your taste. It's all on your preference. It's all on your perception of that. So once you realize that nothing is really good or bad, everything is what it is, and you put everything else, meanings and reasonings behind that, then you start to realize that all of these perceptions that we have don't really mean shit. Number 5 is the principle of rhythm. Everything has a flow, everything has a rhythm, everything moves in rhythm. Even just like looking at the moon, the phases and the tides, all that has a rhythm. Nature has a rhythm. Everything in nature is rhythmic. So just go with the flow. Follow the transits, go with the flow. Everything is rhythmic. Everything is flowing in a certain rhythm. Even if you look at certain sacred geometry and stuff, everything has a rhythm. If you look at a simple example is like a pendulum, a ball on a pendulum. It keeps moving back and forth, back and forth. It has a rhythm. So rhythm is an important principle to know too. The principle of cause and effect. Now, this one's a little bit hard to explain, but basically what I'm trying to say is, every cause has an effect, and every effect has its cause. So you yourself, if you don't like the things that are happening to you, you need to become someone who causes something and not want someone who becomes an effect of something. You know what I mean? So don't follow someone else. Don't become an effect of someone else because of something that can benefit you. You know what I mean? This is just like the producers and the consumers. Don't be a consumer, be a producer. Produce things, cause things to happen, change things. That's what it's trying to say. Is be someone who causes things to happen, not someone who is in the effect of things that happened. But just like I was saying before, every cause has its effect, and every effect has its cause. So be aware of that. And then number 7 is the principle of gender. Everything has a masculine and a feminine energy to it. And if you look at like the sun, the moon, all the planets, and all that, the sun is inherently masculine, but it doesn't mean it doesn't have some feminine aspects to it. The moon is a feminine star, but doesn't mean it has some masculine aspects to it. even me as someone who's a man and I inherit more masculine traits, I still have feminine traits. I still like to take care of myself. I still like to bathe myself. I still like to do feminine things. And just like a woman, some women like to do feminine things too, or like to do things that, as a man would do. Even the zodiacs, they all have their own genders and their own energies behind them. Everything has a yin and a yang. Everything has a masculine and a feminine principle to it. Once you understand that, it allows you to direct your energies in a better way. Like Taurus, my zodiac sign, is right brain, which is using your creativity, your imagination, things that are unseen. Right brain yin. So I'm a earth sign. So I take things. No, I'm left brain yin. My bad. Left brain yin. So I take things that I see and I internalize them and I try to make sense out of them. The yin is correlated to the feminine. The yang is correlated to the masculine. The yang could be described as the external, everything external. The yin could be described as your internal, as your yin body, as the moon, as your Merkaba, stuff like that. So the 7 Hermetic Principles are valuable for anybody to know. I learned them maybe 6 months ago, 7 months ago, and it's valuable information to hold. The 7 Hermetic Principles, the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, that's where it's come from. So yeah, man, peace and love to all y'all. Let me know if you have any questions about any of this. I'll try to explain it better into the comment section. And yeah, man, much love to y'all, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.